Namaskar and welcome to this exciting episode of Sattology Debunking Mythology. This is the first show we're doing after the gala dinner, and uh, and I really thank you from the bottom of my heart for making it such a grand success this time. And my hope is not to. I already forgot about the success now. We need to work more, and we all need to work together in learning more about from our shastra because that is Sattology, not mythology. And you all know Sattology, what it means, but I'll repeat for the new viewers to welcome them back. Sat means truth, logos means the study or science, Sattology means science of truth or study of truth. Opposite of that is mythology, which means science or study of fake, lie, or imagination. So today we are going to go to Lanka again. So without delay, let us welcome Rupa Bhaty. Welcome,
Namaste,
Rupa ji. Uh,
and congratulations to you for this wonderful week you had representing our country's best speakers and researchers there. So that was a wonderful thing to them.
it is one thing I imbibe from the Americans is that they know how to pick the best from the rest. And somehow in the Sattology we are following it, we are picking up people, or we are identifying people who have done the most original research. And Nilesh Oak and you yourself come at the top in your field because you study. And one thing I must tell you, Rupa ji, Nilesh Oak was speaking about you as if he had 1,000 mouths. He was praising you like he has 1,000 mouths. You know? So it was very good to see. Like it's always good to see when one researcher appreciates another researcher. You don't find that in the academic circles. In the academic circles, people pull down the other guy and they pull them down and in fact, Jeevan Rao, Nilesh Oak spoke about him so much, so much. And it is if Jeevan Rao is listening, he needs to know that he is the one who is not coming on the show for one reason or the other. But Nilesh Oak spoke so highly about him, about his research and everything. And that's I really like that when people appreciate each other behind the back, in front. I really like it. I really have more confidence on those people who are not insecure. So it's a good thing to be with people, to be not insecure and do your original research and stick to the text. Don't go out of the text and be ready to accept your mistakes if you have made. Like I'm always ready to learn something new.
We learn every day. We should accept कि हमने ये mistake हमसे हुई है.
Yeah,
We are just humans, normal mortals. तो हमसे mistake तो हो ही सकती है.
that's right. So today we chose the topic of Lanka and Nilesh
Lanka
Ogro.
is Sri Lanka is not Sri Lanka because
Sri-
already Lanka is going on everywhere. And Jeevan Raya has given a very wonderful talk on podcast by Urban Pandit, and he has brought so many evidence together. So I loved that talk a lot. Uh, and I think it my this talk will appear like a filler to his talk. Whatever points that were left here, there, and someday or the other he will come to your channel also, and he will speak about the same Lanka with more evidence probably. He is gathering all the evidence because he knows that he has to be here for more than 1 hour, so he has to speak so much. So probably he's gathering the whole knowledge
you know,
together.
the thing is, I have written 12 proofs that Lanka is different than Simaladweep. Simaladweep is called Sri Lanka today, but Lanka is different than Simaladweep. And in my book, One Arrow, One Kill, as well as in India, the global footprint of Ramayana, and all of us, you, me, Nilesh Oak, Jeevan Rao, everyone has taken evidence from Valmiki Ramayana.
Yeah.
Same thing is mentioned in Mahabharata also. Hanuman also says the same thing. Same thing is told by Prabhupada, ISKCON founder. Same thing told by Madhvacharya. Same is told by Ramanujacharya. Same is told by Adi Sankaracharya. So it's not that we are going, and also one of the Shankara Pandit Kota Venkat Chalam also said the same thing. So it's like not only so anyone,
coming down to us from
yeah.
so many.
So anyone who has and also there is another researcher Ojha also said the same thing about Lanka, about Lanka. So there are, and I'm so happy is that I'm not alone, and it's good to be validated by multiple people, so many people, and at the same time. So, what do you say about the Lanka's position?
This is we actually all are like na treasure hunt pe hai hum log. We are all in the treasure hunt because Lanka was sone ki Lanka, so we have to find it out anyway. Yes. So uh, let me share my screen so we will have a little discussion over there, and again we will come back.
Yeah, just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Yes, please share.
So you can see.
Yes, we
You
can
can
see
share
clearly.
the screen.
Yes.
Okay. So we already found that कि तत् ततः समुद्र आसाद्य संप्रदार्य अर्थ निश्चयम् अगस्तेन अंतरे तत्र सागरे विनिवेशति. So this is the verse which gives us कि idea कि वहाँ महेंद्रगिरी में पहुँचने के बाद में they are now viewing towards south, exact south, and to take the path to this Mahendragiri. Uh, After reaching here, they were visualizing Agastya, and that time period gives us a hint that it was happening during 12,000 to 13,000 BC, because that it was only seen from the Mahendragiri, and that is recorded in the Ramayana itself. So there is no ifs and buts about this. So we have this as a truth that in the north there was Brahmarashi, and in the south it was Agastya, and both were behaving as a pole star. I have talked about it so many times on your platform also. And here this Mahendragiri becomes an important point to understand. Before that, before reaching to Mahendragiri, uh, they almost cross three rivers of Malay Mountain. So Mahendragiri is where it is at the end of the Agastya Malay range, which was known as Malay, and still we know as Malay. After Sahya, the Malay comes, and all the Bhatis jump to Sahya, then they cross these three rivers of Malay, and after that they reach to Mahendragiri. Now, it would have been very easy for the Vanara people to climb to Sahya. Rather, they would have taken the course towards the eastern side, and with the help of eastern coast, after the discussion of Sugriva and this uh, Rama party, uh, they would have come to the conclusion that yes, यहाँ से अभी जाना, but the trail was due to the Jatayu, and after that Samprati, and reaching to Mahendragiri with the help of the evidence that now Sita is in Lanka. Now, in Kishkinda side, evidence. Uh, that diverted towards Sri Lanka. Why not? It could have walked down uh, the mountain range and not taking this tedious mountain towards Mahendragiri, because that is more invincible till to this date. It is, and you can imagine during those times, it would have been so invincible. The forest must be so dense and the conditions must be in that form. But it says that it crossed the Mukha of Tamraparni, that is how they came and visualized August from Mahendra. From there, they wanted to go ahead uh, in the due south, and in the true south they were heading, and then they crossed so many different islands, and in that one of the island was known for Augusta. So there was a Augusta palace, they say, in Ram. So all those descriptions come. Mainaka comes, and other mountain ranges comes. Even Rishabh, one of the Rishabh also comes, and there are many mountain ranges in between, uh, which Hanuman also experiences and uh, has a fight with the suddenly emerging volcanic type of mountain, and all those things are given by Valmiki Ramayana very meticulously and very minutely in a very minute details. He has given the whole picture, how they reach, how Hanuman first reached Lanka, and how others then make the setu and they reach to Lanka. Uh, so one can understand that the whole mountain range of Sahya, then Malay, they were coming all straight down towards Mahendragiri. Why should one go towards southeast direction from this side? And how they will make a setu from Mahendragiri uh, foothills? From there, how would they make it? So this is quite like ambiguous type of thing that after coming to this end point, they would take their voyage towards southeast direction. Whereas Ramayana is specifically saying that it is going towards south. So that was the question. So to understand this situation, let's see the actual picture of Lanka. So this is Sri Lanka of today's time, and you can see that I think my cursor will not go. But if you see the junction where the Jaffna is written, there are 2 meter deep, 3 meter deep to 5 meter deep. Exactly on the Setu side, if you can see the present day Setu, the Adams Bridge, you will see that it is hardly very deep. You know. It's just 3 meters. Then most of the part is only 30 meters deep, and few of the mid portion is 20-meter deep. So you can see very well that it was quite connected. If we are taking Augusta as the evidence that it was a pole star. So during 12,000 BC, this was not happening. You know, the whole thing was plain land, and full of the land was connected with uh, through Jaffna, and the whole of the Sri Lanka was connected with the Indian Peninsula. So the whole of the Indian Peninsula was including this piece of land. So they are on the same crust, I should say. The only thing that these sea level rise, when they happened here, to have crossed the 3 meter level also, or the 20 meter deep level also. So for that we have just let me show you this. So if you see this, you will understand that during 12,000 BCE, around that time, the sea level was around like almost like 50 minus 50 from whatever the level we are finding it now. So you saw the 20 meter deep, you saw the 3 meter deep, but it was almost 50 meters deep during that time. So the whole landmass of Sri Lanka was completely attached with India. So this is my conclusion that during 12,000 BC, this Sri Lanka couldn't have been the Lanka of Ramayana. So both are different entities. Apart from that, even you have come up with the ideas. Nilesh also have said, uh, with all those writers previous to us, they have described that Simhala is different and Lanka is different, and Bhagavatam also says the same thing. Varahamir also says the same thing. He comes with the idea. He comes with a better idea that from which time he is keeping this knowledge. During 12,000 to 2000 BC, the coincidence is such that Varahamir says that the southern portion of India, that is the Mahendragiri region, Malay region, these are being dominated by Uttara Falguni, Chitra, and Hasta nakshatra. And all these nakshatras were having their vernal equinoxes, that is Samvatsar beginning, by which we calculate the Agastya rising during the autumnal time. This is so beautifully coincided here. With the help of this, we can understand that the vernal was happening from 10,000 to 12,000, 13,000 BC. So Uttara Falguni, Hasta, and Chitra, these three nakshatras were having vernal equinoxes, and especially the August when Augusta was on those latitudes. So uh, why I said that Augusta Malay is astronomical in nature, because Augusta was seen for 4,000 years below Chidambaram latitude, and in the Augusta Malay range it was seen very authentically. Now, this claim of mine that geographies also have the impact of the nakshatras or the stars is endorsed by Varahamihir. He says that the Malay, the Mahendragiri are being uh, controlled by the Uttara Falguni, Hasta and Chitra nakshatra. So how beautiful we can, connect the dot. So you can see that during this time, uh, the sea level is quite uh, so much low, so much low that even the water could not have percolated in the 20-meter deep pond-like area. That is a huge pond. I should say sometime it might have become. And the memory, now people get so much attached with the memories. They get attached with the things like, okay, Dhanushkoti is there. So Dhanushkoti is one of the tirtha mentioned in the Skanda Purana also, in Shiva Purana also. So there, the hierarchy of all the mountains from Vindhya till Mahendra has been written so beautifully that it gives a complete picture that this Mahendragiri is being of the southern Dakshinapatha, and it says that in the Dakshinapatha these all are there. With the help of the three rivers, with the help of the hierarchy of all the mountains, we find that Ramayana is not speaking anything else. It is corroborating the facts which are present in other Puranas also. So the location of Mahendragiri, which has been very doubtful, some of the researchers came up with the idea that it could be this Mahendragiri could have been the Odisha Mahendragiri, or somewhere in the northwest, or somewhere uh, or somewhere in I think Malaysia or Thailand. Uh, this all is all speculations goes, and the fog clears because of these evidence that after Mahendragiri they had to go towards more south, and the kind of uh, uh, the distance which has been mentioned is not like just have been said, okay, bol diya, chalo, so yojana. No, it was not like that. It was giving a complete definition. So many Vanaras came up with with this with their helplessness that I can go only till 80 yojanas and I cannot come back. One said that I can go only 20, but I can go only 40 or something like that. And all these distances were not just a verbal uh, uh, speaking, just speaking with each other. It was not like that. So they were just exercising their minds that only I can go till 100 years, but then I won't be able to come back. Even Angad said at last. So the direction shows that Lanka should be somewhere down south and should be on the equator with the help of other evidence coming from Surya Siddhanta, Mahabhaskariya, Laghu Aryabhatiya. All these converge Lanka towards the equator and on the intersection of the mean longitude, the mean prime meridian. So this gives us a complete picture to completely negate that uh, Sri Lanka was never the Lanka of Ramayana. Not only with the help of the descriptions given in Ramayana, but also with the sciences coming up with the eustatic levels of the sea levels, and other climatic conditions which are mentioned in Ramayana. We will be coming up with a paper where we will be discussing why the seasons were just opposite of our times. So probably we will be giving this and within 2-3 months we will be giving this in one of the conferences. So that's all for today. I just wanted to uh, bring in the fact that yes, all the descriptions very much suggest that apparently clears all the fog. That this Sri Lanka could have been the Lanka, and whatever the attachment we have with the Ram Setu, which is the Adam's Bridge, these are all shifting of the memories from something so much dear that has shifted. In the previous talk, Jeevan Raya gave one more evidence of uh, Berkeley crater. It's a huge crater formed in the sea uh, between the Indian Ocean and the Pacific, I think. Uh, the crater is a huge crater of some kilometers, and the meteor was itself was of the size of 5 kilometers, he said, and that had created a huge tsunami. So that must have destroyed so much of things and probably created a village for Sri Lanka, for sorry Lanka, and also the setu which stood there for a long time. So there must have been a huge destruction because the huge sand dunes can be seen inside the sea, uh, created due to the huge waves, probably 60-meter high waves. So that must have been the most devastated kind of uh, event which the humans may have experienced. So the memories of the dear things always shift, similar to Dhanush Kodi, which I have already written in one of my blogs. That the Dhanush Kodi memory also shifted. So in 1964, when the tsunami came, the Dhanush Kodi went down. But after 550, that after 6 years, we find the same temple, Agni temple, being erected in other area, and now that is called Dhanush Kodi's. So likewise, the memories shifted, and they shifted towards southeast, and it appears that the places which mentions that Sita's Kunda is there or Ravana's palace was there, and all these memories shifted to that. And when you go back to like 800 CE cartological maps, you will find that there are not uh, many of the islands around the Sri Lanka itself, probably the Sri Lanka or probably the earlier Lanka. You will see that there are Nagadeep and so many deeps are being mentioned, which are now not there. So many things have gone into like Dhanushkodi in 1964. Before that, for the last 300 years, many of the islands perished in the sea. And now we are seeing the last of the atolls, and probably they will also vanish in a lifetime only, probably in next 50 years, with the climatic change and due to the static levels rise. We will be seeing so many catastrophic things in our lifetime itself. So, what do you say about this find, Aditya? Back to you.
Thank you so much. And I really love what you have done here. And the one of the things is, there are 12 proofs actually, 12 proofs. One is Sita's words. And like you have done a very scientific analysis with the ocean rise and fall. And one of the things which I've answered in my book, also written over there, just like we have Vrindavan in India and we have New Vrindavan in US, and Acharya has established
Yes.
New Vrindavan, Pratibhu. So Radha Vrindavan Chandra is the deity of New Vrindavan. We have Dwarka in India, we have New Dwarka in the US. So our Acharyas have named Los Angeles city as New Dwarka in the memory. When the English moved from UK to US, when they colonized US, they named New England. There was Boston, they're all the cities in the New Hampshire. Hampshire is a city in the UK, and they call it New Hampshire
Yes.
in the memory of them. Similarly, Simaladweep was also part of Ravan's kingdom, Simaladweep. So when the ocean went down, in their memory, they called Simaladweep as Simaladweep. They didn't change the name. The name was changed in 1972. Sri Lanka was
Yes.
the name given in 1972. It's a very recent thing. So,
Very recent.
so the thing is, like for example, I tell you, Jaipur is called Vrindavan because when Aurangzeb destroyed Radha Govinda temple in Vrindavan, then the pujaris moved Govindaji to Jaipur. So it became like a Vrindavan. So like this, people have been naming cities, renaming places in the memory. So
So these things, even the structures are being shifted.
structures shifted, and also in memory they build exactly the same replica.
The same replicas also. So
Exactly.
like when these sea level rose so much, then they created that kind of, because they wanted to use that as a daily pathway. So Adams Bridge came in, and then suddenly for probably for the tourism purposes or probably for the memories to be retained, that some kind of a setu was there. So that shifted to the Adams Bridge also.
Yeah.
And before that also, all the islands must have had all these kind of setus,
And also,
not being completely isolated.
right. So when Valmiki Ramayana mentions Sri Ram's path and the armies, so they go from Mahendragiri RF, which is on Tamil Nadu today, Tamil Nadu and Kerala border. And when they went down, down, they did puja at a Shiva temple, and that Shiv temple is still there at the foothills of Mahendragiri Parvat. It's still there, and and then they went straight down, and very clearly it is mentioned they reached the ocean immediately. So from Mahendragiri to see the ocean immediately, and because when Hanumanji climbed up on the top of the Mahendragiri RF, that temple is called Mahendragiri RF mountain. He saw the ocean. Now you don't see the ocean towards the east or southeast. You see the ocean straight south. And
Yes.
there he jumped. And then it is said that the mountain came down a little bit. But if he would have jumped southeast, then he would not see the ocean immediately. He will have to go through 100 miles, 100 kilometers on the land. He did not see the land. It was straight on the ocean. So the Valmiki Ramayana itself is the biggest proof. And what you have done, and what Jivan Rao has done, what Nilesh Okji has done, and all of us came to this conclusion independently. None of us compared each other's notes. And before that, Pandit Kota Venkatchalam, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, everyone else has said the same thing. Now, what is the implication for this on people's faith? Now, understand, like you have explained very beautifully. And in our concept, it's called Pratibhu. Pratibhu means in memory, like what it was. So all the places were made in Simaladweep, Trikut Parvat, all the Ashok Vatika, all those places were made. Yeah? And Lanka was a city made of white buildings and red outlinings of the doors and the golden window frames. And this was the Lanka city, described very vividly in Valmiki Ramayana. Hanumanji proves it again in Mahabharata when he talks to Bhim. And there are 12 other references in Mahabharata and other places where it is said the same thing. When Sahadev goes to the south, he also reaches the same place. And Ghatotkach flies. So till Mahabharata time, the Lanka was still there. And because Sahadev meets, Ghatotkach meets Vibhishan with the message of Krishna. And Vibhishan gives him gifts because Vibhishan wanted to glorify Krishna Bhagwan. He said, Ram has come down as Krishna today. He said that. And he was waiting till Krishna appears, because that was his memory, to see Krishna again. So he was happy to participate in the Rasya Yajna of Yudhishthir, which was done for Krishna. So there are many, many reasons. And now if people do not see, the one thing I tell people is Valmiki Ramayana is a itihas. Tulsidas Ramayana is a bhakti, beautiful compilation, is a bhakti side of the Valmiki Ramayana. So if people want to, and there was a purpose in which Tulsidas Ramayana was also written, because the atrocities of Aurangzeb and all these Islamic terrorist groups was very high, even during that time, very high. So to make people forget the attack, he wrote Tulsidas Ramayana so people can remember Sri Ram and forget the misery temporarily. And so there are many such facts there. But Rupa Bhaty ji, you've done a wonderful work. I'll be very happy to get Jivan Rai also on this topic. And also, please read Nilesh Oak's books, is 209 BC. That is also, he has written a book on that. And also, your talks, and also refer to my book also, One Arrow, One Kill in the US and the West, and Global Footprint of Ramayana in India. And you will get many proofs. And if you have any doubts, refer to all the people who have given names of. Pandit Kota Venkatchalam, he published his books in 1800s, way back, 1900, early 1900s, way back. And Ramanujacharya's talks you listen to, Prabhupada's talks you refer to, Prabhupada said the same thing. He said in one quote that Lanka, which you see today, is not the original Lanka. He said it very clearly in a conversation. So none of us are speaking. See, if you follow the original document, Valmiki Ramayana, you can't make a mistake. But if you want to play games with it, want to create mythology out of it, then definitely it's going to happen. It all depends on your intention. So, you want to add something?
Nothing. Only today's Wi-Fi is very vulnerable, so I was thinking just it should go smooth. So this was all it about. I think my again voice is going.
Okay.
It
All
goes
right.
and comes.
Yeah. All right, viewers, thank you so much for joining the show today. And I hope you liked the presentation. I know the voice quality was not good, but at least you can see the slides. and sometimes that is good enough. And also thank you for joining today, and thank you, Rupa Bhaty ji, for coming on the show for this topic. And actually, me and Rupa Bhaty didn't prepare for it; we just did it randomly. This is one of
Thank you
those.
so much.
You know, namaste, and thank you. We did it just like what do you call it, extemporaneously. So that's So thank you so much for joining, and thank you for watching, and thank you very much for subscribing and liking our videos. And we want you to share as much as you can, which you will, and also like the videos, which will help in more people seeing the videos. Thank you so much. Namaste, and have a nice day.